Welcome to the JP8 Report. This is James Pierce with the JP8 Report. This is episode 37. Episode 37. We're dealing with several of the legislative achievements and perspectives dealing with the 87th Texas Legislature here in the state of Texas. Okay, I know I get riled up when I talk about Texas. If you haven't been seeing me over the last few weeks, I said in my previous podcast, I've been busy with my business. I need to make sure it's all taken care of. But, when you work 15, 16, 17 hours, you get tired. Okay. So I'd rather you see me do a podcast when I'm uppity than when I'm, oh, bother. Yeah, I'd rather not be like that. Okay. So this one is this podcast is going to be episode 37, election integrity in the state of Texas. There are several bills that came through. Some signed, some hasn't been signed, some it's going to be in a special session. Before we go, remember, thank you for watching my podcast. Thank you. But at the same time, we need to get the word out to other people. Okay. Hey, I'm a conservative talk podcast. One day, and you never know, I may be able to get people in there to talk with me. But as of right now, you got me, and I'll do the best I can with the information I have. But please subscribe to my podcast. Listen to it, download it, hit the little notification things. If you're on Rumble, hit the little boxing glove, the Rumble boxing glove. That gets people to come up and listen to the podcast to see what's actually going on out there. Okay, sometimes I can be pretty emphatic on the way I'm talking and stuff. I love politics. I love being a conservative. I love taking care of people. We have the freedom to do in our country because people vote. Okay, people vote because people like me and my wife and lots of my friends, we put our lives on the line to serve our country, to give you that freedom to go out there and cast a ballot. Okay. Before I get on my deal about here about voting and stuff, I want you to remember one thing. If you can go to a liquor store, or if you can buy a weapon, or if you can go to an airport, or if you go play golf, or if, a whole slew of things. You have to show a driver's license to go do all those. You should be able to be able to go vote with a voter ID. In the state of Texas, you can get a free, I believe it's free. I'm pretty sure it's free. ID card, state ID card, or you can use your driver's license. You can use your license to carry, your military ID, all kinds of stuff you can use. If you have to show ID to do all those other stuff, you can use your ID to be able to go vote, cast a ballot. Okay, legally cast a ballot to make sure nobody has identity theft against you and voting in your name and you not know it. Okay, so in the Texas Legislature, they went over some bills. The main one, I'm going to read a statement. I forget which senator wrote it, but I don't have a copy of it for everybody else to read. Okay, but I'm going to read this for you. Okay, it was the night that the election reform bill died on the table, and why Governor Greg Abbott is going to call a special session in the state of Texas. So now we're going to have two special sessions. We have one special session to deal with elections and some other stuff, and then we have a special session dealing with redistricting, because the Biden administration took their sweet time to be able to get census data information so we could deal with this before the end of the legislative session. Okay, so this senator, I'm going to read what he wrote. I wish I would have wrote his name down. Tonight was an incredible embarrassment for the state house, for state house Democrat. Okay, so I believe this person was a member of the Texas House. For Texas House Democrats, as they fled their constitutional duty and the Texas Capitol too afraid to cast a vote for SB 7, okay, aka Texas Integrity. With about an hour and a half left before the deadline to pass bills, most Texas House Democrats locked their voting systems and walked out. In the state of Texas, you have this little round thing. It's brass. It's at your desk. You put a key in and you twist it so you can be able to cast your ballot. There's buttons you got to push and stuff. If you lock yourself out and pull your key, nobody can cast a ballot for you. Okay? Just so you know. Now you know. Okay? They walked out on their constituents and their constitutional duty and on deals made with colleagues for key pieces of bipartisan legislation. The good news, Governor Abbott has already announced the Texas Legislature will meet in a special session to tackle election integrity and other issues not completed before the deadline, because not everything got done because these Democrats blew the quorum number and left. Okay. As we see the final nightfall of the regular session, we look forward to the looming fight as the battle for the soul of Texas continues into the summer. Oh, and the crazy election integrity bill, what did it do? Well, it makes it easier to vote but harder to cheat. Some of the provisions in SB 7, counties must remove deceased voters and people who have been removed from the voter rolls. Okay, let me see something here. Okay, but that one's already been signed. Okay, well, some of the SB 7 got passed and some didn't. Voting systems must be audited for accuracy. No Wi-Fi voting equipment in Central County. That's so you don't get hacked. Okay, poll watchers must be allowed to watch all election activities. Large counties over 100,000 must record and live stream ballots from the time they arrive at Central County until precinct results are canvassed. Optional for counties under 100,000 people. Voter ID is required for all voting by mail. So if you request an absentee ballot, the procedure will change. Other online ballot tracking, so voters know when the application is received, when the ballot's mailed, ballots received, ballots accepted or rejected, and counted. That's pretty good. That's integrity in the process. So you get an update every time your ballot goes through a different step. Oh, why did I get 2 notifications? Well, see, that's why. Employers must give employees time to go vote if polls are not open more than 2 hours outside their work hours. Prohibits all paid ballot harvesting activities and provides for a civil remedy for violation. Okay, that came from a politician here in the state of Texas. What we're going to go on and go through is, I'm going to show you from the 87th Texas Legislature for election integrity. Okay, so give you a second to look at that. So most of SB 7 is going to go back to a special session. Okay, the governor can call that after adjournment, and it's for a 30-day length of period. And like I said in a couple podcasts ago, it deals with specific subjects, and only he can dictate what subjects are discussed in the special session. Okay, that's by Texas Constitution. Okay, so on a few things that went through, poll watcher status. Okay, the day is the 12th of June while I'm doing this podcast right now. I shouldn't have told you what day it was, but that's right. On the 9th of June, Governor Abbott signed the poll watcher status bill, HB 1128. It clarifies who may lawfully be present at a polling place, early voting ballot board, and central counting stations. Okay, so this is what they're talking about. Individuals who may lawfully be present at a polling place, an election judge or clerk, a watcher, a state inspector, a person admitted to vote. Okay? This is when you go vote. Okay? So I guess if you're going to vote, you can be in there. A child under the age of 18 accompanying a parent who has been admitted to vote. That's so you can teach your kid civics. Okay? A person providing authorized assistance to a voter. That's someone that's hard of seeing, that needs a little bit of help. Okay? A special peace officer appointed by the presiding judge. That's if you need a constable or a police officer to provide security. The county chair of a political party conducting a primary election. Okay, so like here in Texas, in March or April or May or June, whenever we have our next primary, here in Coryell County, we have Jack Barcroft. He's our county chair. Okay, he has the right to go in any polling station he wants. Okay, and the same thing with the Democrat person. Okay, whoever they may be. A voting system technician, a county elections officer as necessary to perform election tasks. That means Justin Crothers here in Coryell County. If he needs to go in and talk to the precinct captain, he can walk right into that polling station, okay? And then a person authorized by the presiding judge in accordance with the election code, okay? So that is all with HB 1128 that was signed by Governor Abbott on the 9th of June. The next one, it was signed on the 4th of June. Efficiency in updating state voter rolls. Okay, this is HB 1264. Look these up. Look them up, okay? Makes the process of removing deceased persons from voter rolls more efficient. Why would we have to pass a law saying you can take dead people off a voter's roll? I don't know. I don't know. What is the big deal? Why would the Democrats pop red star clusters up all over the place because you want to take dead people off the voters' rolls? Why? We're supposed to leave them 4, 5, 6, 10 years? What? So you can heist their voter ID or their identity and cast a vote in their dead name? Hey, LBJ's dead. You know, he a long time ago. We do stuff legally now. My view, if you haven't voted in several years, or if you're dead or incarcerated, you shouldn't be on the voters' rolls. If you haven't voted in several years, you need to re-register to vote so your legal address is there. Okay? The next one, not signed yet, but it's HB 2283. And it's titled Ban on Private Donations, Zuckerbucks. Okay? Prohibits election administrators from accepting large donations from private individuals like Mark Zuckerberg. Okay? He owns this company called, I'll give the initials, Foxtrot Bravo. Okay? And organizations for the purpose of administering elections. So you're going to lobby or potentially bribe an entity to conduct a fair election. I'm going to give you a large amount of money to conduct a fair election. How stupid do you think we are? Well, I guess people do anything for money. Okay. Yeah, so why would you do that? It needs to be clean. There's no reason why he should be involved in doing this. It's crazy. Okay. And then the last one I'm going to talk about, this one was actually signed. Stronger penalties for election voter fraud. It was signed by Governor Abbott on the 3rd of June, 2021. It's in code. It goes in effect on September 1st. Okay. It's HB 574. And 574 increases the penalties for conducting fraudulent activities in elections. The bill would make statute consistent by elevating some current election-related offenses from misdemeanors to felonies. That means your butt's going to jail for cheating. Okay? From misdemeanors to felonies, and would appropriately punish individuals who commit election fraud. Like the person that voted in 2 different precincts in Killeen last year. Dude, you're toast. Okay? The law, well, if you did it again, because the law, it goes in effect on September 1st. Why should we accept voter fraud? The whole purpose, okay, there are people out there say it's racist that we make people show voter ID. Then if everybody in the Democrat Party that speaks as junk wants to insist that we don't use ID to go vote, why don't you go ask the people in Mexico? Why don't you ask the people in Great Britain or Germany or France or Portugal or Spain, Germany, Poland, the Czech Republic, Slovakia Republic, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, Greece, Italy. Do I need to keep going? They all require you to show ID to go vote. Then why, in our country, that's supposed to be the freest in the country, are we going to allow the propensity of someone to come in and fraudulently vote for a candidate? The option shouldn't even be there to even try to cheat, but they do. And our job in our country is to make it as secure as possible so people can cast their ballot and legally be counted, so the candidate they vote for has a 50-50 chance of getting elected. Okay? We can play this game all we want. And House HB 1 from the federal government and Senate Bill 1 for the People Act, or for the Crooked Peoples Act, it is stated in the Constitution that elections are administered by the states, not the federal government. It's the state governments. We have 50 different state governments, and their job is to conduct their elections. The only thing that the federal government says is what your eligibility is and what day you vote for in federal elections. Everything else is administered by the states. The federal government has no right. It has no right to dictate to the states how they're going to conduct their elections. And this stupid idea about redistricting by nonpartisan civilian component committees to determine district boundaries and stuff. Since when does unelected people dictate laws in a state? Your job as an elected state representative is to do your job and make sure the district boundaries are correct. And I hope in the state of Texas, our legislature is the only ones that dictate our congressional boundaries. We don't have to worry about it with Senate, because the federal Senate is statewide. Okay, if you didn't know. All right. Boy, I'm on a tangent on this episode. But they have no right. They have no right. Joe Biden and his puppeteer, Kamala Harris, need to stay out of our business. That is why, the tyranny of the majority should not rule. They shove everything down our throat. In the Senate, it's a body of compromise, just like Senator McConnell was saying, and with Senator Sinema and Senator Manchin, both of them are steadfast against, and there's probably several more other senators in there that do not get rid of the filibuster. The filibuster is what slows down our legislation to a point you're like, what are the second, third, and fourth orders of effects on our decision we're making? If you shove something down someone's throat, one day you may be in the minority and getting bulldozed. Or what if it collapses a branch of government or a state government or a department? That's why you go through this stuff. Okay? Elections are state ran, and we determine that. And it has to be fair, okay, and secure. You should allow people to go watch the counting of the votes. You should have to show ID. You should have a timely counting mechanism that counts those votes. Why is it here in the state of Texas, we can have almost all of our votes counted in one evening, but you go right down the road to Michigan and it takes days, or Pennsylvania takes weeks. Same thing in New York. I'm like, what are they doing? It's taking so long to count these votes. Do they want them to slow down and have other things happen? Why would you do that? Why? If the polls close at 7 p.m. like they do here in Texas, within about 6 hours, I'd say 8 hours max, because you got places like Harris County and Dallas County and Tarrant County and Bexar County, Travis County. I don't know what El Paso is. I think it's El Paso County also. But you got those big metropolitan areas. It's going to take time to count some of those votes. But they should be that evening. Okay? It should be that evening. So we shall see what happens. We should see what happens with SB7 when the special session gets convened. The governor hasn't announced when the special session is going to be yet, so we have to be ready to the rock and roll. And my state rep is Representative Shelby Slauson. I forgot her name. Wow, out of Stephenville, and she's done a rock star job for us so far. So that's great. Okay, so thanks everyone for listening to my podcast today for election integrity. Remember, this is episode 37, and be on the lookout for other podcasts. Thank y'all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, please, and share this out. Let other people hear what's going on. Okay? Give me feedback. You can reach me on Parler at James Pierce JP8. You can find my Facebook page at the JP8 Report. You can email me at jp8report@gmail.com. All right? So, thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side. And this is James. I'm out.